I am actually, people who buy the book for 99 cents, the ebook, will be able to win a copy of my paperback. Not only will they win the copy, it will be autographed. You will get my rock stars drawings. You will get the snippet, which is something I don't give, believe it or not, to people who do the autographed copy. I've never done this before. So they'll get the snippet that started the whole thing, plus they will get something that's not in the book, a segment that's not there. So they're going to get an extra bonus as well.
Oh.
And I may have another segment. I'm going to talk to my editor about that.
Oh, that would be fascinating. Get some of those extras on there. So keep going. This is fun. You've got this contest that's going to be going in the beginning of November, so people need to purchase the book.
You're breaking up. I don't know why you're breaking up.
Oh, okay. I'll talk a little.
Okay, now you're fine.
Is that okay?
Now you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
I was too loud there at the mic there. Okay, so so people need to buy your book here before the November 1st contest starts.
Yes, they need to buy it by September 30th, and then they need to read the book, and then there will be questions. There will be 8 questions on Badfinger and 8 questions on the book. Now, in case we have a tie, what I will do is ask 3 questions to each person. I'll put 3 questions down, and whoever answers them correctly, they will win the copy. If we happen to have a third tie, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the person randomly.
Right.
I doubt if we're going to have a third tie. I don't know. I mean, some of these questions are not going to be so easy, but they will be available. They're on the net, and they're definitely around. And if I can find them, you can find them too.
Yes, of course. Well, that's going to be exciting for your fans. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for the announcement here on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
You're welcome.
Now let's talk also then about some of these amazing drawings that you've done regarding some of these rock stars and some of the characters that are in your book. These are fascinating. You are quite an artist.
Thank you very much. I was in AP Art, which is advanced placement art, and in high school, and Columbia College. I was accepted in the Columbia College in New York and Columbia College in Chicago, and I decided to go to the one in Chicago. I want to be close to my family, and I just had a passion to draw Brian. I mean, I just loved everything about his shading and his coloring and everything. It was amazing. So I drew a lot of pictures of him, and I drew pictures of Robert Plant and John Bonham. I mean, I just started drawing. My son's really the one that started getting me into a lot of the different drawings. He was drawing actually anime characters, and I was so fascinated by what he was doing, and I just decided to pick up my pencil and start drawing. And I would collect from different sources pictures, and I would just copy them down, and there they were. And I didn't know, I had no idea I was going to make Rock Dreams, honestly. That was not in the cards for me. It was something that actually I thought about later on and said, well, I've got to give away a free ebook. And what can I do to give that away to somebody who buys my paperback? So I said, this is the perfect thing, Rock Dreams. And I put it all together and showed my editor, and he tweaked it for me. He was a wonderful tweaker. He He goes beyond what an editor does, honestly. And because in the beginning I was very, very leery about any editing or editors. And definitely. And he did such a good job. He did a great job on the book. I think he did a wonderful. And we're going to be working on the second book together. And I'm waiting for a friend's project to come through, and then he's going to help me with the money for the editing. I have some really great news, and here's something very interesting. I've got to say this. I do. When I've always had this dream to go to my brother. My brother lives in Israel. That's where his job is.
Oh.
My brother, yeah. So my brother lives there, and I'm here, and I haven't seen him in 8 years. Now it's 10 years, but at the time it was 8 years. And I was sitting on the couch just recently, and this happened. I couldn't believe this. Tommy asked me, he said, where do you want to go in Israel, and what do you want to do? Because I was really, my heart rate was just really to the sky, and I was not calming down. And when Tommy touches my hand, I feel the energy go through me and somehow balance me, which is doing now, believe it or not.
Oh.
And I told him where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do and everything. He says, well, you know what? He says, you're going to do this. I said, Tommy, I don't have the money to do this right now. He says, don't worry. He says, you're going to do it. And I went to a wedding, and somebody who was a relative of mine said to me, Joyce, how would you like to go to Israel? I said, I laughed and said, okay. He says, how? She says, I'm going to pay for your trip. I'm like, what? I thought she was kidding me.
Oh, my.
And I couldn't believe it. And we talked. And she says, how much do you think it's going to cost you? I said, well, $2,000. And she says, okay, it's in my budget, $2,000. And she, right there and then, I couldn't believe it. She says, I'm paying for your ticket. I'm paying $1,000 for you to be there, and you're going. She says, it's your dream, and you'll see your brother. And that's what's going to happen. I'm actually going.
Oh, and this is your older brother, right? The one that's been so
a younger
supportive
brother.
of you?
This is 4 years younger than me.
Okay. All right.
He's 4, and he has 7 kids, my nieces and nephews, and I'm going to meet them. This is the first trip I'm actually going on by myself. I've never been on a plane by myself before, and I've traveled very rarely on planes, to tell you the truth. So,
right.
But when I think back on that, I mean, like when Tommy was telling me that I was going to go, I didn't believe him. Like I said, I have my skeptical reasons here, and I was a skeptic. And when he told me that, I remembered back, I said, Tommy, said, I'm going to Israel. He says, I know. And I said, one day I want to live there. He says, this is your maiden voyage. He said, you're going to go and you're going to scout it out. And that's, if you want to live there, that's where you're going to be. Now, here's the bottom line. I really believe that souls in general are tools of God, that they give messages to those. Not everybody gets messages. Sometimes you get thought messages, but because I'm at the level that I'm at, I get from souls for some reason. I can't say why. But I really do believe that they are tools of God. Just like you and I are tools of God. I believe everything from Him, and I shouldn't ask questions. I shouldn't question it.
Yeah, well, that's good counsel. Obviously, sometimes we tend to look a gift horse in the mouth sometimes. And that's not our job.
It's not our job. And every sale I get, believe it or not, I'm doing a gratitude prayer in Psalms. Psalms 8. I do it every time I get a sale.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. And I'm hoping that I'm doing a whole bunch of gratitude prayers in the next couple of months.
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm sure you will be for sure. I just was noticing some of your wonderful artwork that you've got on some of these rock stars. And correct me if I'm wrong, you do this mostly in pencil. Is that right? So these are black and white images.
Yes, I did a couple of drawings, and I did some actually in color pencil. I did one in marker of John Lennon, and that came from my mind, that picture. It reminded me of Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's very good.
And I did one painting in the back of Brian, and it has, like, all these stripes around him in the back. It's in color. So some of them are in black and white. Most of them, I think, are in black and white, but there are some that are actually in color.
No, I'm looking at Brian's picture right now, the multicolored, beautiful, almost psychedelic image that you created here. What possessed you to do this one in color and paint it like that?
I think it had to do with the sound, because I've had a particular vision of hearing the sound and how can I explain it? And seeing the sound and hearing the colors. There's something like that. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's sort of like an acid trip, but I've had that. And when I was listening to the music now, Painted Black, not Painted Black. Oh, she's a Rainbow, I think it's called, and it's on. There's this Satanic Majesty's Request, and I remember the colors in her hair that can't compare. She's like a rainbow, and I just started drawing that,
right,
and painting that. And that's how that came to be. The John Lennon one was, like I said, was from Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah.
So I believe music is very much an integral part of me. It always has been.
Well, it sounds like it has actually inspired you, obviously.
Oh, yes.
To delve within the whole idea of creating this story that initially you think is out of thin air, but then all of a sudden you're getting all these confirmations. Yes,
exactly. And there might be skeptics out there, and I'm sure your board's probably lighting up or something, skeptics and stuff like that. But honestly, all the confirmations I've got, I told my husband about. Yeah. I couldn't hold it in. And I couldn't hold it with my circle as well. My best girlfriend, she knows that I'm in touch with him and everything, with Tommy.
Yeah.
And he's been part of my life for 3 years now, almost 3 years. It's been 2.5 years now. And his memorial's coming up. The funny thing was, when we launched the book, I said to Tommy, I said, I didn't even give you a present yet. And Tommy says, it's your day. I said, no, it's your day. It's your birthday. And he said, don't worry about it. I came home and I actually wrote a letter to Tommy. And I expressed to him how I felt about him being in my life. I really did.
Wow, that's wonderful.
I wish I could just share it with everybody. The only thing is it's on my computer, and my computer's been going haywire. And Tommy calls it booming crazy computer.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, I would imagine you could just give us a flavor of what you were telling Tommy at that specific time.
Well, basically, from what I can remember, I was just saying how I was so happy he was in my life, that he